Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a really exciting video for you guys. I promised you a part 2 is coming of my Canada Day online haul, and it just came through right this morning. So I have 4 to share with you, and they are all first impressions except for one of them I've already tried, and I'm going to go through the notes and then put them in order, and you guys know the drill. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out my channel, and don't forget to like this video for more videos. I will say, I know I said that it's only 2 parts, but there actually is a 3rd part that's more of like a Canada Day 4th of July deal that I ordered. It's just because it's coming from the States, it's taking a lot longer, so keep your eyes open for that one, and that'll be kind of the 3rd part of the trilogy. But for now, let's get into the 2nd part. I'm so excited. The 3 that I haven't already smelled are all ones that I've been thinking about for so long. So here's hoping we get some successful blind buys. So the first one, there's actually 2 I got from Sarah Jessica Parker, and I don't think, yeah, I had her Lovely, which I didn't like, and I finished, and then I had her Born Lovely, which I more recently bought, and I hauled, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, maybe 2, and I definitely liked it more than Lovely, but still it was, you know, kind of like average, run-of-the-mill. But these 2 were just so talked about. I feel like Sarah Jessica Parker fragrances are all pretty unique, and they have like a small cult following, so I wanted to try them out. The first one was Sarah Jessica Parker NYC Crush, and this is the one I've already tried, and this just lists white flowers, coconut, and vanilla. So it's one I had kind of ignored for a really long time, but the reviews of this on Fragrantica are insane. This is how it comes in. It's kind of like a fake leathery bottle, and it kind of houses the actual bottle, which you can take out, but you can also just leave in here. Everyone on Fragrantica was talking about how realistic and yeah, just like authentic smelling coconut fragrance this was, and I love coconut, especially for this time of year. We've had a bunch of really hot, humid days, so I thought I would get it, and it is a very realistic coconut scent. I feel like I get coconut and vanilla, and barely any white flowers personally. It just smells like coconut and vanilla, which a lot of people in Fragrantica had said the same, that it's not floral, it's just kind of like a very light coconut vanilla scent. The only thing is this is very much like a body splash in terms of how long it lasts, what it projects. It says that it's an eau de parfum. I wouldn't even say it's an eau de toilette. Personally, it's very much like a body splash of just how close to the skin it is, how little it projects, how long it even lasts. I do like it, but I just wish that for how, you know, simple and authentic of a coconut scent it was, that it projected a little bit more, it lasted a little bit longer, even if it was going to be a skin scent, that it was a stronger skin scent. So I don't know, I don't regret it, but in terms of the smell, I actually do like the smell. I just feel that it's like just a body splash, and for those of you who've been watching my channel, you know I'm not huge into body splashes unless they're going to perform like an eau de toilette or eau de parfum, and this I feel like is the reverse, where it's eau de parfum and it performs like a body splash. This is my 2nd time wearing it. I've worn it once before, so I don't know. We'll see how I feel, I guess, because I always do 2nd impressions after, you know, a couple weeks or a couple days. Once I've really worn all of these, I'll come back and do kind of a roundup 2nd impressions. But for now, I do like the scent. It's a really simple coconutty vanilla, but I just wish it lasted longer. So that's Sarah Jessica Parker's NYC Crush. Then the other 3 are all first impressions, so we are going to kind of discover them together. And the first one, this is the one I'm most nervous about. It's the one that I think I'm probably gonna like the least / might hate. And sometimes, and this might just be me, sometimes I go for a fragrance that I fully know has pretty much nothing that I would normally like in a fragrance, and yet I want to try it out. And Maybe that's just the addict in me, but this is Covet, and I actually got a tester, so it just comes in this regular cardboard box. But it's, again, this is a fragrance that a lot of people do hate, but there is this kind of weird cult following where people do like it. So it just says tester on the back, but it still has a lid, and it still has kind of the name of it and Sarah Jessica Parker. It's just the box, really, and I throw out my boxes anyway. So this has geranium leaves, Sicilian lemon, lavender, spicy chocolate, honeysuckle, magnolia, lily of the valley, musk, vetiver, teak wood, amber, and cashmere wood. And honestly, there are so many scents in that or so many notes in that scent where I would have never bought. Chocolate in a scent is already kind of a turnoff. Spicy chocolate, God knows. And then there's really light florals like lily of the valley and magnolia, and then there's deep woods like cashmere wood. I have no idea what to expect of this, and fair warning that I might hate it, but it's been discontinued for a long time, and I just felt like it was inexpensive, and I hadn't seen it in a really, really long time, and so I just thought I'd try it out. Okay, this is one I feel like I want to also spray it on my skin, even though it might not be my favorite, just because that cardboard box is so thick that I feel like it soaks up the scent. Okay, so it starts out pretty green. It might be those geranium leaves. I'm not really familiar with that note. Slightly green and citrusy, and it has lemon, right? Yeah, Sicilian lemon. I get a touch of lavender, but it's a really light lavender. I don't really, yeah, that's what I'm getting right now. I'm thinking as it develops, I'll get more of that heart. It's not horrible. It could have been a lot worse. It isn't one like straight off the bat I'm like, wow, this is my scent, but it definitely isn't horrible. It's very green and citrusy. I can see how it could develop into a spicy cocoa or spicy chocolate, but I'm not there yet. So we'll let that kind of rest on my hand, and we'll come back and see if I get any of those florals, any of that spicy chocolate, or that woody base, because it just needs to settle. But straight off the bat, like, I don't hate it. It's not one that, you know, it's like repulsive and upon first sniff I can't even imagine wearing. It's just interesting for sure. So we'll come back to this in just a moment. The next one, you guys, I'm so excited. For those of you who know me or have been watching my channel, you know how much I adore Violet. It's my favorite scent. I would just, if I could only smell like one thing, I would just want to smell like Violet every single day of the year. And for a very long time, obviously, I've had Insolence Eau de Toilette by Guerlain. I love this. I've always loved this, but I've never actually owned or smelled the Eau de Parfum. I've only ever owned and smelled the Eau de Toilette. So I found it. This is in the newer packaging, obviously, not those kind of like semi-globe things. This is still in the B bottle, but this lists red berries, iris, violet woods, sandalwood, orange blossom, and tonka bean. And basically what people have listed as being the main difference between this and the Eau de Toilette is that the Eau de Toilette's a lot more pink and candied smelling, that this is a little bit more woody and much more like a wall of violets. And so a lot of people actually tend to prefer the Eau de Toilette because it's lighter, it's brighter and more candied and easier to wear. So this one has a pink juice and this one has a light lavender juice. And I do love the Eau de Toilette, but because I'm such an avid violet lover, I definitely wanted to try it out, and I feel like I wouldn't have the same issues of wanting to stray away from something that's too violet-y, because for me, there's no such thing. So let's get into that. Again, we'll spray it on the box, and then we'll spray it on my skin as well. Okay. It's very, you know what? I might just actually spray them one next to the other, because personally right now they're smelling pretty similar. Okay, it's upon first spray, they are very similar in the opening, and I think it's because both of them have a lot of the same notes, the red berries and the violet and the iris. I think this just has more woods and sandalwood, woods and tonka bean, and I think those don't exist in the eau de toilette. Yeah, it's just, it kind of, that opening that's very sweet of that candied violet, they both open that way, but this is already starting to get a little bit more subdued personally, whereas the eau de toilette is still staying as sweet as candied. I'll have to play with this a little bit more. They are pretty similar, so I will say right off the bat, it isn't one where you notice a huge difference, but I am smelling a bunch of fragrances today, so I am gonna give these a little bit more of a try and play with the eau de parfum a little bit more. Personally, even if they end up being 90% similar or 95% similar, I adore this fragrance. It is one of my favorites of all time, so I don't regret it, but I'll play with it a little more, and if you guys are interested, do a review where I talk about these two a lot more in depth. And then finally, you guys, this is the one I was most looking forward to. It's a fragrance that I just happened upon on Fragrantica ages and ages ago, and it was the name and the bottle just drew me in, and I didn't see a lot of reviews on this. I think I looked up maybe one, but it didn't even matter. It just, the name and the bottle immediately drew me in, and I've never tried anything from this house before, and I've always wanted to, so it's fitting that this is my first from the house, and it's from the house Molinard, and it's Violette. So this is an eau de parfum. It's basically just supposed to be a violet fragrance, which again, it's very clear I adore violet. And this has bergamot, lemon, violet, blackcurrant, rose, white musk, iris, violet leaf, and peach. And the bottle is so beautiful. This is what it looks like. It is just the most stunning violet color. And I will say the Molinard bottles, a lot of them come in this color. It's not just the violet. And if I do like this one, I would like to try out some more because the bottles I just think are really classy and pretty, but I'm hoping the scent matches the bottle. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God, I could cry. Wow, I have to immediately spray this on my other arm. Wow, you do definitely get, I could cry. This is so beautiful. You get a very realistic, slightly citrusy sweet opening. And it smells like, maybe like a drink I once had. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like a syrupy citrus. And then the violet and iris in this are much more realistic of a violet. It's not like a candied violet or a sugary violet that exists in Insolence. It's much more of the actual flower, which is definitely going to be a powdery flower, but this isn't an inherently powdery scent, I would say, based on first sniff. Yeah, I get like this really sweet, citrusy opening with some violet and iris. I don't get much of that peach really, but maybe some of that blackcurrant, and maybe that's adding to the tartness. Oh my goodness, this is one I definitely have to play with and see how I like on my skin, because based on first try and first impressions, I really, really like it. And it's really interesting. It's not like any of my other violet fragrances. So yeah, love this. And if I had to put them in order, I would say I would put Violette in first place, just because it has that violet, which I love, but it's very interesting. It's unlike any of my other violet fragrances that I've owned or tried. I get so much of that like sweet syrupy citrus, as I say, and I definitely need to play with it some more. So definitely do check out these second impressions that I'll do and include on this with more of a thorough review. But based on my first impressions, I really do love this, and it's an interesting way to incorporate violet in my collection. Then in a close second, I would put Insolence Eau de Parfum by Guerlain. This is just for now. maybe like 90%, 95% similar to the Eau de Toilette. So I need to definitely play with it some more, and on a day where I'm only trying out this and Eau de Toilette to see what the differences are, if there are any. And yeah, I will, if you guys are interested, I can come back with a video, obviously in the second impressions, but I can do like a full review of the Eau de Parfum and Eau de Toilette and see what the differences are and kind of give you a more thorough review of the fragrances as a whole. Then in third place, interestingly actually, I feel like I would put Covet. Covet is starting, now going back to it, to remind me of a fragrance that I don't own but I've smelled. And I can't for the life of me remember, but I just feel like it's interesting. It's not getting super chocolatey on my skin, which thank goodness, because I again don't really like that note. But I get more of those florals now and less of that green opening. It's still pretty green. It's just interesting. It's not a fragrance that it's going to be my signature fragrance by any means, but at least it's bringing something to the table, and I don't hate what I'm smelling. I will have to play with it some more, and I can come back again in my second impressions and give you guys more of a thorough review. But based on first impressions, I was expecting to pretty much hate this, and I don't, which is great. And then that means that in fourth and last place, I would put Sarah Jessica Parker's Crush. This is just, honestly, even going back to my hand, it's just such a soft skin scent. This does not last at all, and I'm not one of those people that thinks that every scent needs to be beast mode, but this is a body splash level. It is no way even close to being an eau de parfum. I wouldn't even say it's an eau de toilette personally, so I couldn't recommend this unless you are super into finding a very, very, very light, authentic coconut vanilla. The scent is nice, but this is just one that I see myself using up while I'm at home on pillows and stuff, and barely getting to wear on myself, because it just doesn't seem like it'll last. I will give it some more tries, because again, this is only the second time I've actually tried it on my skin, so keep an eye out again for that second impressions. But for now, it's in fourth place. And I hope you guys enjoyed this haul. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video for more videos, and leave in the comments below which of these fragrances that I've hauled you're most interested in trying, or that you're most interested about. And yeah, I can talk a little bit more about them in another video. Thanks so much, and see you next time. Bye.